Today I'm here with Tony Phillips with Smart Collective, as well as the CEO of Smartables. Today he's going to tell us a little bit about both of the companies that he's with, their goals, and a little bit about himself. So first of all, thank you for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yes. And go ahead and tell us a little bit about you, your history, how you got in the industry, and about Smart Collective and about Smartables.
Okay, well, a little bit about myself. Some people have found their way into the industry many different ways, through being a patient or however. Myself, I have a unique claim of being born into it.
Okay.
I have a history of my grandfather who took care of his cattle, and there was hemp that grew on the farm that was used for fed to cattle. To my father, who was a master grower, and that history through my father. And then there's me, who literally, when my father was into it, I was 4 years old. Grew up into it. I had the perfect pinky. Story for another time. But through exposure in the family and everything, and I've always had the knowledge and known about the plant. And my grandma at a young age kept me in the kitchen, teaching me how to start with bread and things. And I was born for this. Between my grandmother teaching me everything I know about food, to my father and history that way, teaching me everything I know about the plant, put it all together, and you got Tony with Smart.
So you were made for this.
Yes, I was born for this.
Well, that's awesome. So touch a little bit about Smart Collective. We've had one of the previous members, Ryan Hurley.
Yep, my brother Ryan, yes.
So we had him on one of the previous episodes. Great guy. So go ahead and just touch a little bit about Smart Collective and y'all's collective goals.
Well, the Smart Collective is one of those things, we've all been at this for many years, actually. This has been an idea and a goal for many years, not just recently, but through connections and not that I work there, quick plug to the FCC, meeting people and growing, it turned into the Smart Collective. There is 4 of us at the core. We were sitting around the table one day and it was like, what are we going to do? Where do we go from here?
Okay.
You know, and this is before, I'm sure, like you said, Ryan was on the show and talked about EVO Labs and the direction going there. I mean, Smart Collective was born before that. You know, all of us had a passion for healthcare, wellness, patients needing more than what they were getting. We've had our personal stories with tragedy in our families that marijuana could have helped, you know, and it brought us closer as people, and it gave us a purpose as a unit, and we were like, with us, we can't be stopped. And the Smart Collective was born, and the fact that our initials kind of worked, it was just like, yay!
So
and there we go.
There you go. Now you know
Absolutely.
where SMRT came from. So, and knowing all the members of Smart Collective, I can personally vouch for each and every one of you as great people working for the patients and anybody that wants to be in the industry in the state of Florida. And let's talk a little bit about your new passion that we've got going on here, Smartables. And for the people out there that don't know, he's known as Chef Tony. As you said, you started at a young age and getting into the cooking with cannabis infusions and CBD and THC and stuff like that.
Let me give a little correction on the way you're pronouncing the name. It rolls off the tongue easily as Smartables, but it's actually Smart Tables.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to bring back cannabis to the table.
Okay.
Not just as an edible, which are great for medicating, but I come from a belief with when Prohibition happened, we also lost cannabinoids in our food sources.
Okay.
Hemp was in many of the food sources for our cattle, our chicken, our everything, our farm animals.
Oh, yeah.
It was a regular part of the diet. When Prohibition happened, that even took away hemp from the diet of our feedstock. So as that's happened, we've lost the cannabinoids from our system. We could take that same time when Prohibition happened. Let's look at the health of us, the human species, during that time. It's deteriorated. obesities became bigger, pun intended. The general health, we have more people with COPD, with diabetes. You know, I mean, type 1 diabetes is horrible enough being born with it, but more and more people are growing into it with type 2 diabetes. These are things that I personally feel, and I can't say I've seen scientific evidence of it, but I've seen many anecdotal things personally where cannabis in the diet helps, as well as cannabis in a vape or a smoke or an edible. We need to bring the cannabinoids back to our daily diet. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, our snacks in between. That's my mission, is to teach people how to do this. And just to, between the other medicine versions and bring it back into our diets, we can bring the human species back to a level we haven't seen in 100 years.
That's very interesting. You should talk about the health and prohibition and the effect it's had on the United States.
Absolutely.
And I've never thought of it that way, honestly, but you're completely right. And here recently, you've even seen places like Whole Foods bringing hemp sprouts back into and trying to incorporate it into the diet of people that are looking for a healthy option.
This is true, but there is a slight difference between what you can find on the average store shelf and what I'm talking about. And this is where I'm going to branch into whole plant, where my beliefs into whole plant. We need the CBD.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, a lot of the stuff on the store shelves has great nutritional value and stuff, but not so much in the CBD aspects. And of course, we know how things work with THC. Now, whole plant says we need everything. We need the THC, we need the CBD, we need the terpenes, we need all of it for an entourage effect.
Absolutely.
Now, there are those people that believe in the medicines we're directing things with, guided with vapes or guided with this. My stuff is based on everyday wellness, which is 100% whole plant therapy. We need everything. The terpenes tell the CBDs and the THCs where to go.
Exactly.
The THCs and the CBDs do their job within the body. Now, we all know that all of these things last longer in the system when it goes through the liver. So, simply put, Smartables bring the smarts back to your table, bring the cannabinoids back into your diet, and let's do that. And I'm here to let you know that I will be working on Tony's Tables, which is going to be my way of showing you how to incorporate those things.
That's awesome.
But of course, right now, I'm handcuffed by whole flower.
Yeah, so let's
we need that whole plant.
Let's touch on that a little bit. Let's talk about the current state of the industry in Florida and what your opinion is on it currently, and let's talk about what you would like to see. Obviously, you know, in here recently, or in the not too distant future, for patients to have access to whole flower and whole plant.
Well, to me, I find sometimes it's hard to say things about it because I think it's a no-brainer. If we have a plant that takes care of so many things from top to bottom in its different forms. Now, mind you, everything I'm talking about isn't just using the cured plant or anything. I want to work with the green plant.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so many benefits from the plant before it's cured and after that we need. THC doesn't always have to be heated first. There's so many benefits of the body from non-activated plant.
Oh, yeah.
And there's many different ways to incorporate that in your diet, from using the leaves in salads to actually, I like to use a lot of the plant material. I'll use it in different ways in different meals because there's so many different benefits from it. In not only in the things that it gives us as far as THC, CBD, but let's also think about the fiber.
Oh, yeah.
You know, these things are great for the system, and we're always hearing about need more fiber. We have a plant that can help us medicinally, help us holistically, you know, and the most important thing in those is homeostasis, meaning everything comes together where it's meant to be. Okay? And this plant has a great ability to not only fill those voids, but it can tell itself how to do it.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing.
How many things do we have out there that can really not only heal us physically, but spiritually?
Yeah.
I mean, we already know the stories about how people with PTSD, anxiety, and by the way, just myself, I like to call it more PTSS, like a syndrome, than that D for disorder.
Oh, yeah.
It really hurts my ears, okay?
Okay.
But this plant takes, like I said, it takes care of us on a health basis, with wellness, with our nutrition. But it also helps us with the mind, with the spirit. And it's holistically, this plant is our future. It was.
Oh, yeah.
It was our past.
Yeah.
And now it should be our future again.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things I tell people is history vilified this plant.
Absolutely.
How many people can think of a Western they've seen where they see that guy standing in front of that wagon, and and he's trying to sell that tincture, that home medicine. That was our medicine then.
Oh yeah.
Cannabis indica, cannabis sativa was a regular part of our pharmacon. Almost all of the so-called snake oils that we heard about were made from cannabis indica, cannabis sativa, under guidelines set by that same pharmacon. It wasn't until certain people's deep pockets decided we need to vilify this substance and promote these synthetics that we lost this from the pharmacon, and that's where they actually got the name snake oil, because they had to make us scared of a common tincture made from a plant.
Yeah. So two things I wanted to talk about. So the fact that that you touched base on nutritional value, not just CBD and THC for whole plant. A lot of people, when they think cannabis, they think CBD, THC. It actually has a very good nutritional value.
Oh, absolutely.
There's much more things than THC and CBD in this plant that benefit your whole body. And in being in the industry in California years ago, and in touch with people that are still in the industry, I can vouch for there's people that are actually juicing whole plant cannabis.
Oh yeah, it's a regular thing. Juicing the whole plant, drinking the juice. One of the things I like to tell people that you can do is you can take that juice plant, put it in a pot, steam out some of that water. It'll get thicker. A little bit of a sweetness will come to it, but you're always going to have that whole plant fresh taste. But you can take that syrup you've made there, add it to different kinds of smoothies, add it to all kinds of things you can do with that little syrup, and keep it in your fridge for a little while.
Oh, wow.
You know, and your whole plant, getting it every day, adding it to whatever you want. And you can add it to many different fruits, many different vegetables, whatever, for different antioxidant effects and stuff. But the base plant, even in its rawest form, can be more beneficial to some patients than what we get in the cured form. It all depends on the ailment, the things like diabetes and these things. I think there's been some point that juicing the plant and these things help. It helps with A1C. It helps with blood sugar, you know. And I can't say that the science is there 100% yet, because they won't let us show it, and they won't let us test it that way. But I know from when my dad was alive, how he reacted to different forms of marijuana and medication, and I wish there would have been an opportunity that my mom's cancer could have benefited from this back in the day. Yeah. So these things, with what I've experienced personally, what I've experienced through other people, through Smart Collective's work with our philanthropy and advocacy, and the things that Maria has done. I also got to go out shortly after, as you know, after Irma. I went out with some people and did some work feeding people and things like this. So it's amazing that not only does this plant heal us, but how many people, how well it can bring our communities together.
Oh yeah, it brings everybody together for sure.
Yeah.
So and well, I think we're both so passionate. We kind of went off there, but the main thing we were talking about is, in the industry, there needs to be whole flower. There needs to be access to that, and I think we both agree on that. The current state of the industry, it's ever changing. The laws are being changed monthly, our guidelines and regulations, and
thankfully we do have Maria up in Tallahassee trying to getting us as much information as she can, and she's right there on the front lines, feeding it back to us. But as you were saying with the whole plant, we do need CBD and THC, both equally. Some depending on the conditions, some you might need more of this or more of that. We need more research to help us with the proper dosing and everything. But whole plant therapy, in my opinion, is where we need to be. Absolutely. There's a place for distillates and everything because they are quick acting. I had a friend once said that you medicate daily, vape to escape. Meaning the vape is there and the inhalant is there when the anxiety is intense, the pain is intense. When you need that quick relief, that's what you're inhaling for. But I want to teach people how to, like I said, incorporate things back into their daily diet. So maybe over time the smoking and the need to vape gets less because you're getting well both from the inside out and from the outside in.
That's awesome. Gave me goosebumps right there. So I think we're both in agreement that the one thing we do need to see in this industry is they need to open up whole flower and smokable cannabis. Because over 6.5 million people, including you and I, voted for that, and it was right there in the amendment.
I was proud to do that. I was one of those people that even though you're not supposed to, I had to take a picture of me voting for cannabis. I had to.
Oh yeah, it was a big thing.
And for me, it was big because I moved here from Michigan, and I helped up there in that state when we got it legal there, and I watched it grow. And due to health reasons for myself, I needed to move away from the cold. And I came here, my brother and his wife were here, and it was like I needed the warmth and the sun of Florida to get better. And since being here, just things have been amazing. And Florida's my home. And I'm not going to leave. I'll spend my last days here fighting for this plant and fighting for this state to be what I believe is I think we're going to dwarf California. I think we're going to make California's done what they've done, and they have their history, but I think this is the state that's going to make the biggest change medically with marijuana.
I agree.
Because of the focus we have here on patient safety. We do something, we have a heart here in this community that's bigger than the plant and bigger than everything. We know what it can do here for Florida, and we want to see Florida become the #1 state in the nation for medical cannabis. I really do, and I think we can do that.
And I agree with you. And in that process of that happening, think about all the jobs. The career opportunities that it's brought up for you and Ryan and Maria.
Oh yeah, and the career opportunities that we see for people. Because even as I'm just getting started with Smartables, you're here with me at the beginning. Ryan's been spending time working with EVO. Maria's been cultivating, relationships that have gotten her to where she is now in Tallahassee. This, as of the beginning of this year, this was my launch. This is me getting out there and putting myself out there in ways I just haven't done before. And, I've always been that guy that cooks your food and waits for you to give me that thumbs up and goes about my business. And now I'm in front of the scenes, and I want to teach people literally how to make themselves better with this plant and with the techniques I know through food. I mean, just be watching for what I do with Smartables. Smartables.com. I'm going to be bringing recipes. I'm going to be bringing my knowledge that I have of both the whole plant infusions once they give me my legality. But until then, I still work with distillates. I still work with various other ways of cooking with cannabis. I'll be fully up and running soon and have people tune in, and I'd love to have you on my show sometime.
Oh, yeah. You know I'll be
and
there.
of course, I've heard some legendary things about you being able to prepare a few things yourself. So maybe we'll just have to challenge that.
Oh, there we go. We'll have a cook-off.
There you go.
So, well, first of all, let me thank you for spending your time or taking time out of your day to be
Absolutely.
here. And, Chef Tony with Smart Collective and Smart Tables. And you can find them on smarttables.com.
Yes, and you can email me directly at tony@smartables.com.
Okay.
And here soon, like I said, my website will be up. Phone numbers will be published there. In the meantime, I love giving advice. I love helping people that need some knowledge with things. So let me go ahead and put it out on your show first, since it's not actively on my website yet. My phone number is 352-870-5255. Need some advice, need some help with something you're doing, need some help with your medication, give me a call if you need to. I'll do my best to either help you myself or point you to the people that can.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. You have a great day, Tony, and thank you for joining
Tom.
us.
Absolutely.